Guys, you won't believe this, but an alien was spotted shopping at the mall. Now, I know, I know that all of you watching are smarter than that. I know that all of you know better. I've been hearing about this Miami alien mall thing all week long, and I never looked at any news reports. I never read a single article. I didn't care. It sounded stupid, to be honest, so I didn't even bother. Then I decided, you know what? People keep talking about it, so let me take a look at what people are actually talking about. And in less than 10 minutes, I identified the hoax.
Dozens of police officers swarming Bayside Marketplace tonight.
That's where we find Local 10 crime specialist Bridget Matter live with what sparked this chaotic scene. Bridget.
And chaotic is an understatement. There has been a lot of activity in the last hour. This all started, according to police, with some sort of fight between juvenile groups that were armed with sticks. We're also told by witnesses that fireworks were thrown at each other, and we have seen that here on the ground as well. Kids are throwing fireworks into the air. But let me show you the scene here. This has calmed down quite a bit, but in the last 5 minutes, we saw a large group of police running, getting into their cars, then rushing south on Biscayne Boulevard. The intersection we're at is near the Kaseya Center, Northeast 2nd Street and Biscayne. We do want to show you the scene from above, a picture to show you that massive police presence that was here where we are now in the last hour or so. You will see a lot of police units that responded to this, and what transpired after that were juveniles being pushed west into deeper downtown Miami. And when we went west and followed them and police, we witnessed ourselves rowdy crowds, police trying to disperse them, get them to leave the area. I do want to show you some video of that if you haven't gotten.
It was fighting, they was fighting, and then they tried to kick people out to slow it down. Then people got pepper spray. Then that's when the police started coming, and then after the police started coming, they told everybody get out, and then not everybody by the street, and they just throwing fireworks.
And that was our Bridget Matter reporting for us live from the scene outside of the Bayside Market, where it is pretty chaotic. As she mentioned, a lot of juveniles involved. So far, no reports of a shooting.
Which is good news.
Yes.
That footage you saw was published January 1st, the night of the incident. And after I explain this, you will see how manipulative the media can be. Even within the word alien, there is the phrase, a lie. Folks, you could go online right now, and this story, almost a week later, has probably already been debunked. I haven't even bothered to look, and I can bet there is somebody who has already broken this down. The reason I know that is because I was able to do it in minutes. It wasn't hard. You just look for other footage. You do a Google Maps search of the area. You guys don't really think the police would show up to handle an alien creature, do you? Do you know why no one has footage of this creature? Because there was no creature. I'll get to that in a moment. So let me tell you what happened. On New Year's Eve, people like to have their own personal supply of fireworks, okay? They like to watch fireworks and they like to set off fireworks. But they don't always use up all the fireworks they have. So what you will often notice is that a day, maybe even a couple of days after New Year's Eve, you still hear fireworks going off. Most people with a brain knows what that is, especially people who live on or are on Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, Florida. Maybe it's the heat that gets to their brains, I don't know, but some teenagers decided that they would go light some fireworks off at the Bayside marketplace. This is not one big building as an indoor shopping mall. No, the news uses the word mall to make you think that. But it's just a shopping plaza. It would be considered an outdoor mall, but we just call that a market or marketplace. Now, teenagers don't travel in packs of 50. That is just a number that was thrown out there. The reality is there were teenagers there to shop. There were teenagers there to set off fireworks. There were teenagers there to just hang out, and a few to cause trouble. And then there were some passerbys. Just teenagers walking by, minding their own business. So while some of these kids were setting off fireworks, some person, whether they were in on it or not, called 911. And it really only takes one person. They called 911, and of course, when the call went out over the radio, and if there was a possibility of an active shooter at the marketplace, then all the police officers are thinking, this could be another mass shooting. So, of course, more than 60 cop cars show up. And they do this for effect. They don't line up all on one block like they're in some type of parade or motorcade. That is not a strategic setup. It's done because there is no threat. Which means you have more than 60 officers there. And they only made 4 arrests. 4. 2 15-year-old boys were charged with burglary, third-degree grand theft, and battery. 2 other boys, ages 14 and 16, and one of the 15-year-olds were charged with resisting arrest without violence. While the police were escorting teens off the property, there were some teens hanging out nearby some taxi. Because it's the marketplace, there is a place where taxis line up to pick up fares. One of the drivers got into it with some of those teenagers, and they threw a bottle at his car. He gets out of the car and approaches the teens. They get into an argument, and the kids start beating him up. They go into his cab and steal his iPhone, and when the cops catch them, they break up, and some kids go running. The cops chase the kids to a parking lot and arrest them, and those were the teens that got charged. The cab driver refused treatment from fire and rescue, even though he said he was injured. So I guess his pride was the only thing really injured. The whole thing started around 8:30 p.m. and ended around 10:30 p.m. Everyone went home. And then it was reported on the news maybe a half hour later or so. Now, after someone went home and edited the footage, about a day or so later, you get this story about the alien. Let me ask you all a question. If someone told you that they have footage of a 10-foot tall alien, and they said, hey man, I have this footage of a 10-foot tall alien, dude. Man, you gotta see it. But the footage has been cropped, slowed down, flipped, reversed, blurred, and cut down to 2 seconds and then doubled up. You would look at that person like he was crazy. You're not watching that crap. What you all saw was 3 people walking side by side in front of the steps, the very flat steps of the Torch of Friendship. That wasn't a building, and it wasn't the entrance to the marketplace as they lied about. It was just 3 people walking side by side for a couple of seconds, and someone blurred the whole footage. The whole footage. The police cars are even blurred out, and look at the positioning and how those cars are parked. They just blurred the footage and said it was some mass of a shadowy alien or something. Let me tell you how to spot when the media is causing a distraction from another issue. And this is going to require a critical and discerning approach to news consumption. So the first thing here is you need to stay informed by looking at a variety of news sources with different perspectives. And this will provide a more comprehensive collective understanding of the events and help identify if certain issues are being overemphasized and others are being downplayed. You see, in this case, the fight at the mall was downplayed and the shadowy alien creature thing was overemphasized. Pay attention to the timing and frequency of the news coverage. If a particular story dominates the headlines consistently or is suddenly amplified, it may be worth questioning whether it is diverting attention from other important issues, especially at pivotal points in the year, like the beginning of the new year. You must analyze the content critically. If a story seems sensationalized and it lacks depth or details, or focuses more on emotional appeal rather than factual reporting, it may be a tactic to draw attention away from other significant matters. You have to compare the coverage of different news outlets. If a particular story is receiving significantly more attention in one outlet compared to others, it could be an indication of selective reporting or a deliberate attempt to distract. So you keep track of follow-up reporting. If a story is dropped abruptly without adequate follow-up or resolution, it might suggest that its primary purpose was to serve as a distraction rather than inform the public on a long-term issue. You want to look to see if the media focus aligns with the most pressing societal concerns at the time. If a sensational or trivial story is given attention out of nowhere while more critical issues are neglected, it may signal an attempt to divert attention. When you consider the motives behind the coverage, if a story seems designed to generate controversy or draw emotional reactions without contributing significantly to public understanding, it may be a distraction. Again, critical thinking skills. Be cautious of information that appeals solely to emotions or reinforces pre-existing beliefs without providing substantial evidence or context, showing you blurred footage. So the only reaction you can have is an emotional one because you can't see anything clearly. You can investigate who benefits from the distraction. Sometimes certain individuals, organizations, or entities may use media manipulation to divert attention from issues that could be detrimental to their interest. You can check the public discourse and seek other opinions. Discussing news and current events with others can provide valuable perspectives and help identify whether certain issues are being used as distractions, because sometimes people know what else was going on that day somewhere else, you see. But Jay, some people said that they were there and it was aliens. Yeah, and those people are liars. People lie. Let's never forget that. And anyone sitting there online saying that they were there and it's aliens, they are a liar. They are lying. Anyway, that's all for now, folks. I just wanted to put that out there for those of you who were curious about my thoughts on this. If you would like to support the show, please visit WoodwardEntertainment.com to become a member for exclusive content. You can shop the Woodward TV Spring store for merch. And you can always follow me on IG at jwoodward. Everyone have a great evening, and until next time, friends, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.